Started at 6:06 p.m. First, we'll start with our call to order. Position 1, Chris Durrett.
Present.
Position 2, Martina McNichols.
Present.
Position 3, Donald Atkinson.
Present.
Position 4, Carolyn Waits.
Present.
Position 5, Jason Black. I'm present. Position 6, Derek Dalmelin.
Present.
Position 7, Ty Watkins, and he is absent today. Please rise so we can say the pledges. American first.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one, indivisible.
Thank you. All right, our first thing will be public comments. Do we have any public comments? No public comments. Having none, we will move on to regular agenda. Item A, discussion update on approved project 2020-02, City 160-acre municipal complex and MOU between the city and the MEDC. Said project is for the annual expenditure of 90% of the MEDC sales tax revenues received to be paid to the city of Manvel to develop and construct the city 160-acre municipal complex in the city of Manvel. To further economic development, project 2020-02, said commitment of funds by MEDC may be used to fund bonds, certificates of obligation, and other funding mechanisms. Okay, I asked for us to put this on just so that we could have a little discussion and update for it. Last time we met, I know it's been a while. Welcome back, everybody. Happy 2026. Our goal was to meet with city staff, or for me to meet with city staff and council, and we just haven't been able to get that done at this point. We had a meeting set up for a couple months ago, and it had to get postponed due to some family emergency stuff with staff. And in the interim of that happening, they've entered into an agreement to, I'm not even 100%. Do you know what the agreement, can you tell us what the P3 agreement is? Do you know?
No.
Maybe not. Okay, so we don't really know. It hasn't happened yet, and so there's really nothing happening, or there is stuff happening with the P3 agreement where they're talking to a consultant moving forward with some plans to look at. There's no action happening with that, I don't believe. Go ahead.
So we have gone out for bid for that for contractors. I think the bid opening is, hold on just a second. Calendar. Don't quote me on this, but I think the intent was to have it on the first agenda if possible for council's action in April. But all that information is posted on the city website under the request for proposal site. I can send everybody a link so you can see what the bid information was that we put out there.
Okay, so I would encourage everybody to go look at that. We are setting up a meeting before that bid opens, and so I will be meeting with staff and council in March before that April deadline, we'll call it. And so the intent here is still for us to renegotiate that deal. So one thing that I want is feedback. Are we all still, is that what we want to do?
Yes.
Okay, that was a resounding yes. And so we will we will be doing that. I am still keeping that in front of them. I don't want to let it die. I don't want them to go and commit those funds until we've had that conversation with council. And so that is our goal. So as of right now, we have a meeting on March 26th. That's kind of pushing it close to when those bids are going out. That was the soonest that we could get it on the books. And so I will update everybody whenever we get to that point and we have that meeting. Are there any questions with that?
Do you want to do it by yourself, or do you want some of us to be with you?
That's a great question, Tammy. What would be our options on that? I don't need to do it by myself, I will say that.
So I'm going to back up just a little bit and let you know. So the bid opening is going to be at 10 a.m. here at City Hall on March the 10th. So anyone that wants to sit out there and listen to those bids will be read aloud. And then after the bids are opened and the compiled it'll also be available that I can send it out to everybody as well. Once that happens, then staff will review all the bids, and everything goes through a ranking process, and then it goes to city council with staff recommendation. So I would update you on that. Sorry, I was looking up that. And then for meeting with the staff, there's a couple different ways you could go about it. You can request something at the meeting level with all of the council, or you can request a meeting with the mayor and maybe Mayor Pro Tem or one council member, the finance director and the city manager, and maybe one or two of y'all, not a quorum, obviously. And then you guys can bring the information back. So we could do it either way.
So for the March 26th meeting that I have with staff and mayor and probably a council member or two, we can have up to 3 of
Yes.
us at that meeting, right? So I'm absolutely, if we want to get 2 more people involved in that, I don't know how we pick who the 2 are going to be, but this would be the time to do that, I would say, huh?
And as far as the idea of us having kind of a joint meeting, how complicated would that be?
So right now, there's not enough to warrant, I would say, necessary, bring everyone to the table when there's so many questions in the air and so many things still with the project being bid out and kind of where y'all's monies are going to end up tied up at. So that's definitely, I'd say, after this meeting, after the smaller meeting, and maybe more questions answered, and then schedule something on that, or either maybe a joint workshop before a council meeting or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that joint workshop thing sounds ideal to me personally, just because it seems like a great opportunity for everybody on EDC and council to be fully aware of, perhaps a little presentation even over the contract, would be great, I think, for everybody. And
I will say, and I don't know if that would be before the council's vote on the bids that have gone out, but you guys are always welcome to come to every one of their meetings. They are open. That will be an action taken publicly. So definitely, I can send those on the website, but I would definitely encourage any topic on that project. If y'all are available, definitely come to those council meetings or watch them online. That's where you're going to get your best update, presentation-wise, that everybody's hearing the same thing.
Sure. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense regarding the proposal and the request for proposals and everything like that, but specifically just pertaining to the agreement that, I guess, that's what the 2020-02 project is specifically referring to, is
Correct.
this contract, right?
And the debt
So-
side of it that's already committed, so that's
Yeah.
kind of what that contract will entail on how much of that debt will be spent for it.
Okay.
And already spent for the utilities that went in
Yeah.
for the plant.
So personally, that if there was to be a workshop, that's all I would particularly hope that we would be able to speak to, is maybe not necessarily the project, expectations, but just the agreement that we have so far. And if it's something that just could be limited to a couple of people, I'd be happy to volunteer if that opportunity was there. And the request for proposal that you're referring to is specifically to hire a consultant to come up with the ideas of what can be done with the property, right?
No, so PGAL is already, and the council has already done the kind of land plan idea. This is called a P3. This is more of a funding mechanism of a company to help come up with the price of them putting in the stuff and what the rebates back will be. I don't know all the logistics of it,
Okay, that makes
but
sense.
that's what it is.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So I would say in the March 26th meeting, I think some of those details will come to light, and we'll probably learn a little bit more about exactly what this P3, is, because honestly, I don't know either. So at this point, they are moving forward with something that has to do with that project. And if they tie our funds to any of the debt, then we won't be able to claw anything back, right? Because then it's for sure all going to be going. And so time is of the essence. If we're ever going to try to renegotiate the deal, we have to do it before it gets obligated to the debts. And some of it's already obligated to debt. At least $1 million a year is already obligated to debt. we can't touch that. We won't be able to touch that. It doesn't matter. It's done. But maybe we can cap it or change some of the terms of the deal. I mean, there's a lot of options there. We just got to work through what it would look like. And I've said this in the past, that project could be really cool, and it could be a really good project. It could be a really awesome area.
And it could help us in the end, too.
It could. And so it's, I'm still open-minded to the fact that there could be something to that project. We would just need to commit that, okay, that everything we got going on is going to kind of revolve around that project, and then we'll just have some little buckets for some other things. But I just think we need clarity as a board that that's the direction that this board is going to go in for the next 90-something years at this moment, but, maybe we renegotiate that down, right? Okay, so as for the March 26th staff meeting, who is interested in going to that? Okay.
What time?
I do.
I would, but I got to take a half a day off that Friday, so.
It's definitely during the day also, by the way. 11 o'clock, 11 a.m.
Chris and Martina.
So Chris and Martina, you guys good with that? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Any other discussion on that situation? No?
Not really until we get more information.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was going to ask, so we would then find out the results of all this in our April meeting?
Yes. I was thinking there's probably not a way to do it before then, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is there like a file regarding that project 2020-02 that has already been sent to us as a board? Okay. Okay, yeah, because I wasn't seeing it in my emails, but I didn't, that would be helpful.
Probably shortly after you were first on the board when it went back out.
Mm.
So I can see.
Okay.
I would like to see it.
Great. Thank you, Tammy.
Okay, no action is needed for agenda item A. We'll move on to agenda item B, consideration and possible action to approve the engagement letter with Crow LLP for audit services for year ending, or for year 2024-2025. Okay, there's really not a whole lot of information on this. As you guys know, the city audits every year. We're using the same firm that the city uses to audit. Our amount that we're paying out of that is $4,995 for them to audit our financials. Do we have any objection to that? And if not, can we get a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the engagement letter.
I second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 6-0. And we will move on to regular agenda item C, receive, consider the treasurer's report to date. I did ask for us to get a copy of this also, just so that we could kind of go over the numbers. I think that it's important that we all know what money's coming in, and we probably have a better idea of what's going out. But just wanted a little moment for us to review. And honestly, you get to take this home, so we didn't have time to review it, but you do have it now. And so if there's anything that jumps off the page that we have questions, I'll open it up. You guys can go ahead and ask. Yeah, Tammy can give us a quick rundown also, if you'd like, Tammy.
So there's a couple, normally this is on your consent agenda, and your consent agenda is kind of like a no discussion, you just review your documents. So the first page that's stapled, those are your financials. You get those every month or every meeting. That's not a new item. It's going to give you the cash in your bank, your restricted investments. So some of your funds are in First State Bank. Some of your funds are in an account called Tex Pool, which is an investment. It's a secure investment fund. And some of your funds are in another one called Logic. Those are your two highest paying entities, so that's why we have your funds as much as we can in those accounts. And then you have, if you look on that page, it says committed. What that means is the two line items that say committed, those are dollars that are tied up in the city project funds or projects that haven't been funded yet. For your agreement with the city, although you have the funds allocated to the city, you don't give them to the city until the city has sent you an invoice of monies it's expensed out. So that way you guys get to capture the interest on those funds. It doesn't just sit in the city's account. So that's why you have those committed totals on there. And then you have a restricted fund balance and the committed. Those two added together are the totals that at the top. If you added all those committed numbers up, it would come up to what you see in the equity line item. The one that's really interesting that I wanted y'all to look at is the one with that graph, because that's going to give you the history from 2023 through November 2025 of what dollars have come in every month for your sales tax, so you can see the growth. So the first column from October through September runs your fiscal year for 23-24. If you look down that column, that's what came in each month during that fiscal year. If you look across, the sales tax comes in 2 months behind. So we've only got through November, booked on there through 25-26, but you can kind of see from October 23-24, you're at 112,000. The next fiscal year, it went up to 142,000. The current fiscal year, you're at 157,000. So you can see how that gradual growth is going. And then if you look down on the chart, you can really see a little bit better with that visual of how it's looking. So that one was one Jason specifically asked, so you guys could kind of see what the commercial stuff coming in, how it's impacting y'all.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. I think, you know, it's obvious that we're growing. We're seeing new businesses come in all the time. New developments are finishing up. You know, Mayor Dan is putting a new post out every week, it feels like, of a new business coming in. And so very positive stuff. I think that we'll probably outperform our budget numbers just based off what we're seeing here. You know, if we're doing $160,000 a month, that's going to be over $2 million, and we have budgeted 1.6. And so it's good. I mean, all of this stuff is great growth, great, you know, a testament to what the city's offering the commercial people that are coming to town. Any questions or any comments on seeing that?
So I have a question about with the Manvel Town Center and the big box places like the H-E-Bs and the Lowe's. With the incentives that they get, does any of that impact the sales dollars typically?
Not yours. Oh, not yours. So the city has agreements with some of the different entities. However, the piece of the negotiation is on the city's portion of the sales tax, not your portion. So you guys are getting your full portion that we get in.
Good job.
Which will really help now that Lowe's is open.
Did you get your $1 bucket? I did. They were buckets for $1. I had to get them. Any other comments on this or any thoughts? All right, having none. Yeah, I would say you guys take these home and study them, and if you have any questions on the next meeting, bring them with you. Our consent agenda today, well, I'll make a motion to approve our consent agenda. How about that? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Motion passes 6-0. That's it.
I make a motion to adjourn.
You want to stop for a second?
Actually, yeah, it was just in regards to, I think it was our last meeting that we got to kind of review Martina's, you know, document that she had put together, which was really awesome. And I was just going to suggest maybe request, even if that's something that we could just put on our agenda to touch on every week and kind of look forward to and come with maybe some thoughts prepared on even a single line of that great document.
Maybe every month instead of every week.
Did I say every week?
Yes.
Hey,
Definitely
whatever.
not every week.
Whatever.
Not every week. We're like once a quarter right now, so.
Right. At least think about it every week, hopefully, right? If we don't meet on it, but
Okay, so Donald was our only holdout for moving the meeting up to earlier, and now he works a lot closer to here. Does anybody have any thoughts on moving it up a little bit,
You mean time-wise?
time-wise? Instead of 6?
What time are you thinking about?
What time would work for you?
Well, 6, like, I'm supposed to work till 6, but
Oh.
I just leave a half hour early and come here for these meetings.
Okay, well, now you're our only holdout, so we'll
But
keep it at 6.
I'm trying to find out, like, what time you're talking about. Like,
No, if you have to work till 6, work till 6. We won't move it up. It's only if it works for everybody.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good, all
Hey,
good.
at least it wasn't me this time.
All right,
Because at one time it was at 7.
Oh, no, I'm glad it's at 6.
When is our next meeting going to be? Next month?
It is scheduled for April,
Not one in March.
March.
Shoot, I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's already March. It's the second Wednesday in March, so it will actually be on the 11th.
that is spring break for us
oh,
that week.
I might be.
That will
on-
probably affect my ability to be here.
Yeah, I'll be on a cruise that week myself with the family.
So you want to go to the April meeting, which would be the 8th.
I mean, I'm definitely good for the April meeting.
Well, we kind of have to have the April meeting because you're meeting at the end of March.
100%, yep. Do we have any official business for March that we know of?
No.
Okay. Is anybody opposed to not having a March meeting?
So the car wash and everything is taken care of?
You guys have
Okay.
everything?
No, I'm okay with it.
April the 8th.
Okay,
And then I'll send out an email with the link to the project information that's on the city's website. And then I'll also send out the information, just as a reminder, that Martina had put together. So y'all have that fresh as well for that April the 8th meeting.
perfect.
Yeah, because we do need to put the topic off for whatever we can, a little more in depth.
And then I'll also send out, I'm sorry, the 2020-02 project stuff as well.
Awesome. All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor? Motion passes 6-0.